The world of Forex. The foreign exchange market, Forex, is the largest and most liquid market on the planet. In the year 2020, the value of the international foreign exchange market was estimated to be $2.40 quadrillion. Stranger still, this particular market did not exist a century ago at all. In contrast to stock markets, which can trace their origins back hundreds of years, the foreign exchange market, or Forex market, as it is often understood today, is a rather recent market. We'll take a quick look at the history of foreign exchange and how it works in today's world. Some people believe that the foreign exchange market has been there from the beginning of time, when items such as rocks, feathers, shells, and bones with notches in them were traded for products. Even if it is true that these things were the ones that heralded the advent of currency, we don't have any evidence that early man was trading rocks for feathers. Forex, in its most fundamental sense, which refers to people exchanging one currency for another to gain a financial benefit, has been there ever since states started minting their currencies. If the size of a Greek currency or the amount of gold it contained made it more valuable than an Egyptian coin, then a trader would be able to negotiate deals that gave him more Greek coins in the end. This was the extent of the foreign exchange market up until the modern era. Parties with the ability to transact in either of two currencies would use the currency with the lower value for paying out and demand the currency with the higher value for payments received, thereby profiting from arbitrage, which is the difference in value between the two currencies. In the end, it's all about the gold. The fact that the vast majority of international currencies were derivatives of a standard, such as silver and gold, was the key factor that led to the absence of a true foreign exchange market in times past. People would naturally change their behavior in response to any debasement of the currency, by transferring their holdings into a more responsible foreign currency, or trading it in for the precious metals themselves. After all, the earliest forms of paper currency were essentially bills of exchange that could be exchanged for the precious metals that were held in reserve. At least, that was the thinking behind it. Even though they were supposed to adhere to the gold standard, many countries, including the United States, experimented with creating additional money. It was hoped that individuals and other nations wouldn't catch on to the fact that this corrupt money was being used to pay off bonds and other forms of public debt as quickly as they might otherwise have. On occasion, it was successful, resulting in the depletion of the savings of the nation's population, as a result of rapid inflation, and providing the ruling parties with the opportunity to effectively evade their commitments. All too frequently, it was feasible for a country to simply refuse to convert its currency into gold or silver, which meant that shipments of depreciated currency were the only payment that could be made for debts. This led to a situation in which the value of currencies fluctuated wildly. During the height of the Great Depression, this kind of behavior was widespread. A great number of countries started making demands for a stop to this harmful practice. As a result, work on the Bretton Woods system got underway. Establishment of the Bretton Woods system. At the tail end of World War II, the nations who were allies got together for a summit to formally agree upon the exchange rates for their respective currencies. To put it another way, it was an attempt to stabilize currencies permanently. It was decided that each currency would have a fixed value of the United States dollar, and the value of the United States dollar would be pegged at $35 for each ounce of gold. It was expected of every nation to maintain a monetary policy that was consistent with the peg. And given the status of the dollar as a reserve currency, it was also expected of the United States to maintain a value for the dollar that was consistent with its declared value in gold. If any nation had an excess of another nation's currency, they would be able to trade it in for a predetermined amount of gold through a mechanism known as a gold window. The values for this transaction would be determined by the agreement. Or, they may exchange it for US dollars, which are valued similarly to gold because they can be converted. This not only safeguarded states in trade but also made it more difficult for them to inflate the local currency without drawing the attention of any foreign power looking to trade currency for gold. Friedman, the British pound, and the beginnings of foreign exchange. Milton Friedman was certain in 1967 that the British pound was overpriced in comparison to the United States dollar because of the advantageous Bretton Woods peg it had gotten and the economic issues it has suffered since then. He made an effort to make a quick sale of it. When he called different banks in Chicago to set up the transaction, each one of them rejected him. Unless there was a financial incentive for them to do so, they would not approve of the deal. To cite just one example, for many years prior, comparable transactions have been carried out by both international banks and the states themselves. In particular, France had been engaging in a methodical practice known as shorting the US dollar by persistently acquiring gold in exchange for dollars that were overvalued. Friedman took out his anger on the world in a column for Newsweek, which caught the attention of Leo Melamed of the Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME. Melamed gave Friedman a commission to write an 11-page report outlining the necessity of floating currencies and a currency trading market that makes use of futures for trading. Melamed's paper is now complete. As luck would have it, the stagflation that occurred during the 1970s compelled President Nixon to close the gold window or risk having other countries, such as France, steal gold from Fort Knox because of this mix of insight and good fortune. A genuine foreign exchange market that traded in futures was established in Chicago in 1972. Currency markets and budgetary restraint. The utility of Forex futures turned out to be significantly greater than anyone anticipated it would be. Now, rather than maintaining reserves in several different currencies and repatriating them when rates were favorable, a procedure that would complicate balance sheet reporting, corporations can smooth out currency risk and speed up transactions by using a single contract. Speculators started using the same contracts to profit when a nation's monetary policy got too loose in comparison to the policies of other nations. This was a phenomenon that frequently functioned more effectively to induce monetary restraint than Bretton Woods ever did. Forex traders are an efficient means to enforce fiscal restraint on inflating governments, even though their primary goal is to benefit from the market. Today in Forex trading went from being conducted 24 hours a day, 7 days a week due to the constraints of different time zones around the world to being conducted in real time 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It is the world's quickest market, reacting instantaneously to supply and demand signals that are provided by contracts that are still outstanding. Additionally, a significant portion of the currency risk that was faced by businesses with operations in multiple countries has been eliminated as a result of this development. Forex markets and traders are required because they unintentionally serve the role of enforcing fiscal discipline amongst nations. This is the function that makes Forex markets and traders essential. Because it is highly improbable that governments will once again willingly accept a standard, even one as lax as linking the money supply to the easily manipulated GDP of a nation. Fiat money is likely here to stay for the foreseeable future. Forex is necessary in a world where the only thing that can be purchased with money that has been printed is more paper money. This is because nations need to be prevented from inflating away the savings of their citizens. And if Forex traders can do so profitably, then all the more power to them. Do you feel this video helpful for you? Post your feedback in our comments section below, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more videos.